They're all asleep already. And now it's time for the second part, where those people who are still awake will also be put to sleep, so that when I go out here, all of you are dreaming of the land with the big vodka bottles and the many randy females. What is it which makes every person with brain fall asleep? I want to hear some guesses. What else? What is the fastest way for you to fall asleep?
Sex.
Okay, that's not what to hear. It's a box, it's large, it's a huge box, and it spreads out government propaganda. What is it?
Television.
Good man. So it's essentially a bit obnoxious to speak about the concept of smart TV. This is the Google TV talk, by the way, but we're going to call it smart TV. This is a smart TV. Who of you guesses why it is a smart TV?
Because it's online.
Not necessarily.
Because the person standing next to it is happy.
Well, also not.
It runs applications.
Who said that?
It runs applications.
This guy will be fat. You know, it was so funny. It was an event in Poland, and there was a woman in the audience, and she was asking many questions. She was always getting chocolate. And then somebody was joking, she will get fat. She didn't ask one more question during the entire talk. Once again about me, in case anybody of you forgot it, this is me, and you should definitely not call Gerd Wilders, because tomorrow I'm already on my way back home. I am a half Arab, but I will not settle here, and I will not build a mosque. Don't worry. And regarding apps on TV, this is a very short talk, so if you want to know more, I have to promote it a little bit. There is a book written by me for you all, and you can look at it on Amazon. And we're going to look quickly, first of all, the question, why do we need a smart TV? Because it sounds pretty crazy. I mean, why should I use a dumb TV, which is completely useless, to run something on it like an app? Who of you has an idea? Why do TVs need to run apps?
It gives you quick access to what you need.
Not really.
Integration.
Not really.
To get to sleep faster.
Not really.
Because the user wants it.
No.
We make money.
Who said manufacturer?
Manufacturers want it.
Exactly. Who said to make money? Looks like you guys are a pretty clever bunch after all. So, this is the Google TV talk. To the guy in the back, this is the Google TV talk. Why do we need a smart TV? The TV pressure is a cutthroat. The TV market is a cutthroat market. Essentially, the manufacturers are fighting one another. I live in Vienna. Every week, I get 5 different companies sending me an ad, a thick news brochure with an ad. Our TV is cheaper than their TV. And there are essentially 2 ways to gain customers, price and marketing. Both are expensive, and the problem is you lose them after purchase. Who of you bought a new TV in the last 2 years? Who of those people who now have their hand up plan to buy another new TV in the next 2 years? Okay, nobody, that's good. Even my wife, who is a really, really whiny creature, uses her TV for 4 years on a piece. And she's whiny, so it's not like the normal wife, she's whiny. The TVs live incredibly long. A TV you bought in 1980, until approximately 2005, you could use it without much loss, because, well, the bandwidth was the same, and the HD switch is already done. Because if we look today at the TVs, we see 70% of LCD TVs and over 70% of plasma TVs on the market in Austria today are HD capable. In case anybody of you wonders how I did the chart, there is a website, it's called the Scrooge. And I looked on Scrooge, and I simply collated the data. And you see 70% of the LCDs has that HD resolution. So increasing the resolution won't get you new customers because the resolution is already at its numerical maximum. And if we then look at game consoles, as a manufacturer, we see the guys called Sony. The PlayStation 3, when it was introduced, when people like me bought it, we paid 700 or 600 euros, and Sony still made a loss. But over the time, Sony made money, because when my wife wants to play the new version of the iToy with her best friend, that they can basically beat up one another virtually, did you see how high I can jump? And essentially, Sony is making a continuous revenue stream by going smart. And the TV manufacturers wanted to do just that. Every time you buy an app, the TV manufacturer makes money. And this is even more important. These things cannot be cloned, because hardware is easy to clone. But software patents with Lotus, blah, 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 it's very, very difficult to clone. And this way, the TV manufacturers get the way to do this with the Chinese manufacturers. Fuck you. And as we already said before, the TV, it is very, very poor. You interact with the TV with a remote control. And the viewing distance is very, very, very big. You sit far away, 5-6 meters. But this has also got benefits. First of all, in the brain of the people, the laptop is associated with work. The TV is associated with pleasure, and it's social. I mean, usually you watch soccer, 3 of you sit in front of the TV, go, 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 Netherlands go, kick the Austrians, or something like that. And with that, it's time for some players in smart TV. Except Google. Who of you knows a player in the smart TV space?
Philips.
Correct, but a small player has to come.
Samsung.
Who's at Samsung? You must be banking with Tatra Bank, don't you?
LG.
Also correct. Samsung is by far the biggest. We will get to them in a minute. There are more than just LG, Samsung, and so on. First of all, there's Nintendo and Sony. They are established console makers for like 10 years, and neither of them wants to speak to you. Sony doesn't have a published program for small houses, and Nintendo, a manager, openly stated, oh, we are not interested in casual developers. Then there's Blech, Microsoft. To be honest, Microsoft's Xbox 360, it's a pretty nice console. You use C#, soon you will use Silverlight. You can publish the apps via XNA. It's a pretty comfortable situation if you happen to live in a country like France. Then, next there is Samsung, which they currently own the market. If you go into a shop in Austria, you see 50,000 Samsung Smart TVs standing there. In Bratislava, there is a private bank where many customers go, international customers. Next to the private bank, there is a house. Samsung raised the house, flattened it, and put up a huge billboard for their smart TV. So every time you go to bank to get your loot, your gold or your black money, you get reminded, I'm carrying 10,000 euros. Maybe I should buy myself one of those smart TVs. And actually, Samsung's solution, it is not as dumb as it might sound. It's based on JavaScript and HTML5, and it awfully, awfully, awfully smells like Bada. So it's very, very possible that sooner rather than later, we will see Bada on it. Then there is the Google TV, which is why you people are there. And finally, a variety of others like LG, Veracast, blah, blah, blah. Google TV, what the fuck? Why do you think I showed a picture of a queue in front of a phone shop for what the fuck? What are these people doing? They are not meditating and they're not performing group sex. Who said it? We look like we've got somebody here who has been qualified in handling all kinds of insanities, females, and other issues. So I'm going to stay far from him because otherwise I might be locked up in a mental asylum. That's serious. A Google TV, it's an Android device with a TV output and a TV input. And the idea is it wants to enhance your experience of the TV content. And it does this in a variety of fashions. First of all, it does it by integrating search. So for example, this is an example from Google, but let's assume that I like to watch Apple fans being hit over the head with a stick. And it is sent on Tamhana TV every time at 2 o'clock, 6 in the night. Then I would enter into TV, silly Apple people, or iOS, idiots on steroids, and it would hit enter, and it would basically look up for me, yes, Tamhana TV broadcast hitting iPhone people with a stick every day at night, but hey, there is also DroidCon TV, which broadcasts idiots on steroids at 6 o'clock. And why not watch this one also? The next thing, obviously, it's Farmville. You see, you can play Farmville on your TV. I mean, I always needed that. Well, the apps, which is where you people will come in, then you can use your phone as a remote control. So you sit in your armchair, scratch your balls, have your phone in your hand, and increase the volume when the porn ad comes up. Then you've got your home screen, and finally you can use picture-in-picture. For example, here down there we see basketball. It's probably the Netherlands losing to the United States. And here in the background I see the statistics. Netherlands loses, Netherlands loses, Netherlands loses, Netherlands loses, and so on. Oh, the Chicago Bulls, that must be Netherlands also. And finally, you can record. Did you know that one of the most returned consumer gadgets is the video recorder? Because people can, and the coffee machine, because people cannot figure out how to use them. When I was a frequent traveler with the Austrian Federal Railway, I was really, really popular with the first-class lounge attendants for one reason. It was beautiful. Here's the coffee machine, and this is what the people were doing. You come up, say, some victims. I want some victims. Victims, more victims, more victims, more victims, more victims. Victims, victims, victims.
But not the other guy. Not the other guy.
Here's the coffee machine. And you must stand. So, here's the victim column. Here's the coffee machine. What are we doing? What are we doing? I want to have some guesses. What are we doing?
Trying to figure out how it works.
Exactly. Coffee machines and video recorders are the most difficult to use devices because of the poor interaction possibility. And this is precisely the point where Google TV wants to come in. Applause for the victims, please. And Google TV, it comes in two forms, or it came in two forms. First of all, it came as a set-top box. The first set-top box